Hello, India.
Chef Gaggan Anand needs no introduction, but I'll still definitely mention that some of the accolades that he's gone on to achieve till some time ago were reserved for French or Japanese restaurants. Regular feature among world's 50 best, top restaurant in Asia, Michelin 2 stars. How?
I mean, I did not, when I wanted to open a restaurant after 10 years of cooking, in 2010, I didn't want to be the best Indian chef of Bangkok. I didn't want to be the best restaurant of Bangkok. I didn't want to be the best restaurant in Asia. I just want to be among the best in the world. And that was the dream I had from the first day. And I think in last 15 years, I have single-handedly just done what I dreamed of. I did not try to motivate others. I didn't try to be a leader. I just wanted to follow a dream. And sometimes when you follow a dream, they come true. You are happy. When there's a nightmare, you learn and make things better and dream better. So this is how I approach life.
And when you started Gaggan, what was the idea behind at that point of time?
See, the funny thing is that I'm back in the same building where I started my career. So I was one of the chef trainees at the Taj Palace, was one of my postings in the Taj as a TMTP, and I was at the Orient Express, which was dedicated French restaurant. And after 1.5 years, I took a sabbatical because I realized that my mom had never cooked French food. And what and how I can understand Indian food from the most common people. And then for 5 years, I was learning to cook from the halwais, from the street food vendors and their secrets. And that's what has become the base of my cooking. Because when I would go, if I cooked a better pasta than an Italian chef, I would still be called a brown guy cooking white food. And that's what I didn't want to do. I wanted to be a person representing my country and not diluting restaurant Indian food and taking common Indian food and elevating it and making it progressive as I cook.
You represent, and the theme of this event is also Indian emergence, Indian dominance around the world, and you represent someone who took Indian cuisine places. What is your take on Indian traveler, Indian diner, and your experience of dealing with them?
There's a big change happening locally. 15 years back, I would not dare to open another restaurant in India. And for the last 10 years, I was trying to convince myself. But what has happened is India has learned how to eat better. We've grown. I was just telling him, like, a friend of mine who's a very famous ramen chain in Japan, I told him, do you know that a few restaurants in India have Japanese food and there are queues? He said, yes, I know, and I'm trying to invent a vegetarian ramen for India, which is an absolutely meat-based cuisine. So I think that is a change. When a Japanese chef is trying to implement vegetarian cuisine to enter the market of India, or French chefs or pastry chefs or famous French chefs who were first thinking, I should open a restaurant in Bangkok, I should open a restaurant in London or in Singapore, Hong Kong, Shanghai, is now thinking, I should open in India. So India has become that animal that consumes not only good food, but consumes luxury of cooking from different parts of the world and appreciate it. We have become world travelers. We started to understand the globe of cooking, not just stuck to our own ways of eating it. I think we eat more Chinese food than the Chinese itself. You know, yeah, that's our cuisine now. So I think we have become, and that is what I think is that India has itself become, and I tell you, my own business, I run 7 restaurants. 2 I put my name and 5 are my competitors. And all my restaurants, about 20 to 30% of the client before used to be Americans and Japanese is now Indians. So financially, luxury-wise and taste-wise, Indians are the next. And if you are in Paris or in New York in a fancy restaurant, your next table will be an Indian banker or an Indian enthusiast or an Indian foodie. And hopefully not an Indian influencer. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
Okay, you've also spoken openly about AI never being able to replace Gaggan.
I'm anti-AI. I know some of you are living on AI. I think, let me tell you a very humbling experience. So, one of my favorite places to eat in India is in Amritsar in the Golden Temple in the Langar. Okay, where the recipes have not changed. And there's no standard recipe, where everything is depending on what was donated and who's cooking. And it is one of my dreams. I spoke to the people there that I want to improve it, improve the infrastructure, and yet keep the spirituality of that place, because we don't understand the value of it, but it is the biggest communal kitchen in the world. It is the biggest communal kitchen that works 24/7. And my dream is to make it modernized, and yet people who want to go and do seva can still go and do seva. And that is what I think is modernization and max of it. But if tomorrow, in 50 years from now, we start eating pills and that replaces our daily diet, or AI tells you how to make a rajma chawal or a khichdi, I think it's the end of humanity. Because I believe that one of the things that we have in today's fast living cities, which was before everywhere, but it's also in India, where men and women compete for the same job, so the kitchens are empty back home. Where my mom was a domestic slave. All she knew was how to cook. And that was her daily job. And take care of our children and who we are, what they'll eat for lunch, what the food will be in the lunch for the school, and what my husband would expect me to cook on dinner. So today's woman, it's good in a way that we are not taking care of our grandmother's recipe. I don't know how many of you know your grandmother's recipe. But that is the legacy, and we did not document it well. And I think if AI comes in and takes over all that, I think it's end of cooking. And I think if you end of cooking, it's end of humanity. So I think I'm anti-AI. AI can promote many good things in the world. They can research on cancer, blah, blah, blah. Everything perfect, done. But do not touch food. Yeah, come on. I mean, it is. Tell me, how many of you want to eat food from my hands, or your mother's hands, or from my AI robot? And if you want to eat from AI robot, then you belong there.
How do you stop that in your kitchen?
See, I'm a massive analog guy. Okay, we live in a digital world. The first love letter I wrote to my girlfriend was about 27 pages. Now you can just sell the emoji. A heart expresses love, a broken heart means I need more love. And I thought, I had done a lot in the last 10 years, from 2010 to 2000 and COVID. And in COVID, I took a 2 years break. COVID gave me the best thing in life, you know. It made me think what I should do with food. So I was in New York. I was just talking to a friend of ours who I just met. And I went to New York to watch a concert. And then I stayed there and I saw opera. I saw theater. And when I saw opera and theater, I got so involved in performance art. And I'm a good speaker. And that's why I'm here. I'm not cooking, right? And you're not eating, and I'm trying to make you hungry with my words. So I created a 14-seat chef table, and I created an opera where you cannot use your phone, you cannot take a flash photo, you cannot even talk to the next person to you, because this is what you do what do you guys do in a restaurant? You're on your phones, your best loved person is next to you. Restaurants are no more about romance, it's about showing off. The chef is trying to explain the ice cream, but the influencer is trying to influence his own life or her life. And I thought I want to be more valid. And I took a big risk, and that's why I made a 14-seat restaurant without any awards, because in my last decade, I had won so many awards that I was tired of awards. I was tired of fame. And then I realized, I will make sure there is a restaurant in the world where I will make you all feel human again. And the first way is to provocate you. And in our restaurant, we only allow, now many of you will try to say, I want to buy out your restaurant. You're so arrogant, you don't allow us to buy out. But I don't, because in my restaurant, only 2 people or 4 people max can book from one nationality. I bring in color, culture, diversity. This is what India is. You know, when you go to America, the next news you see is racism. In India, we have so many people of different castes, color, cultures, language. I mean, I only speak 3 Indian languages. And many people don't believe this also. But diversity in our food, everything, is what I bring in on a global platform. And that's where I say, you come in, right behind the speaker, you're blown up music, and I make you human again. And I think that is my job. And again, it goes against technology. Yeah. How far can tech take food?
It cannot take food far. That's what you believe. Because food is now looked at as tech, easy to order, quick. You get it in no time.
I mean, it helps us. I also live on an app. We all like apps. It's fast, it's smooth, easy to communicate, easy to choose. But I always believe it's like a part of it is okay until it's not okay. Yeah. It's like AI, I think, is great for everything else. Maybe it's good to solve hunger problems. That is good for AI. But is it good for fine dining? I don't think so.
Indian restaurants around the world now are winning some of the top accolades. What changed over the last 2-3 years?
I think in the last 10 years, when I became a chef in 1997, I was a musician. I wanted to be a musician. There was no money in the music I played. And then my parents said, become a chef, which this is the next thing you'd like to do. And everybody in my family called me a black sheep until I became what I have become. Today I run a restaurant with Louis Vuitton, which is the biggest company in the world. And I am the first Indian to open a fine dining restaurant with a French brand. And not a French chef. They have cafes, but I'm the first guy to do fine dining. And that was putting like a flag on the Mount Everest for me. Because I wanted to prove that an Indian can go, it's the other way around. And that leads an example to everyone, because even for us as consumers, we didn't want to spend money on fine dining on Indian food. That has changed. And that has motivated so many young chefs from Bangalore to Himalayas to east and west of India, where young chefs are not cursed by this, will I be successful? I will be successful because the people want to eat my food. The change has happened in this audience, not in us. We were always cooking good food. But now you are appreciating better Indian food. This is what I think.
Indian diaspora and its spending capacity now is well known and well sought after. Is Indian market also ready for, say, example, a Gaggan?
It's more than ready. I think, as I said, I mean, look in Dubai. I call it the India of the Middle East. And look at London, which is little India for us. It's the most first world India we have. And in any London famous restaurant or Dubai restaurant, you'll have many Indian tables who travel from here just to go eat there and eat in fine dining. And I think that is what has happened, is what I was telling in the beginning. that India is not just more than ready, it's at the prime of what we are. We are growing financially, we are growing mentally, and we are growing in a very, very sophisticated way. We appreciate art in cooking.
What is the way forward for you?
I am 47 years old, and I think I've cooked a lot for 28 years. I want to end my life cooking. That's how I want to expect. There's no retirement. But I'm diversifying. I'm opening a hotel in 2 years from now. And I want to make people, because I often suffer this. I am in the most comfortable bed that the food is not good. And then you are at the best restaurant in that hotel, and the hotel toilet doesn't have a flush. I mean, not the flush, what do you call that? The sprinkler, yeah. I mean, I was very happy when I was at the hotel here. They had the sprinkler, It's an Indian problem, right? Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
very important.
Yeah. I mean, we are the most cleanest people in the world. You don't imagine that. Yeah. So I think
Coming back to you.
Yeah, and that is what I want to create hospitality, because this was taught to us. In my home, people would come just for food, and Athithi Devo Bhava, which is our hospitality. We are only place in the world I get invited in a house is the Indian. Nobody, no nationality like to host people in homes. The Thais hate it, Singaporeans don't like it. Other people's homes are not livable, so they don't ask you all to come. Only Indians in any part of the world, would you like to come and have a meal in my home? Because we believe in hospitality. We like to force feed. That's why we have an extra 6 packs, Yeah. We have 1 pack. We don't have 6 pack. Everywhere you see people are fit, 6 packs. We have 1 pack people. Yeah, family pack, So we love eating. We love hosting. And even we are full. You say, oh, I used to remember my mom used to say, Mom, I'm not feeling well. I'm bloated. She said, don't worry, have a lassi. Yeah. And at the age of 42, I realized I was lactose intolerant. And I told Mom, I'm lactose intolerant. She says, what is that? I said, Mom, just try not having lactose for 12 days and then take a glass of milk and put it in your mouth and feel how your stomach is. And I think half of this room is also lactose intolerant. You just don't know. Practice this. Practice this. 12 days, do not have milk, don't have butter, and ghee is also lactose, by the way. Okay? Just don't have it. And after 12 days, take a glass of milk first thing in the morning, and then feel the next 6 hours. If it is pain, you're intolerant. If it's pleasure, keep having milk.
What is the way forward for Indian restaurants in India and internationally?
The sad thing is that Indian restaurants are run by corporates. It's sad. I started my journey not in 2001 or 2. I started in 2007. I took $500, went to Bangkok. I had 2 Fab India shirts, 1 Lee Cooper jeans and a Wrangler jeans and a torn Nike shoes. And from there, I run business with LVMH. I didn't even knew what Louis Vuitton was. In fact, one of the things was that the first time I thought Louis Vuitton was something very luxury, I went to Paris, I bought a belt, and it had LV there. And the LV belt was 500 euros. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of money, and I saved money, and I want to buy Zara and blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to show off the LV, because it was all about show off. But when I sat, the LV used to hurt my belly all the time. So I said, why is it that $400, $500 belt is hurting me so much? Yeah. From there, learning luxury, doing things, I've learned and I've acquired, and I'm still not wearing LV. And this is my personal painful learning experience. In India, it's sad to say that not many chefs have that opportunity. But I always say that I took the risk. I was born fearless. I took the risk. Many of us always think that we live fearlessly and we always have to do things because we want to secure ourselves financially, secure our dreams financially. But I always like to think that I am born fearless. I was born at the lowest end of the pyramid. So whatever I do is better than what I did before. And I think that is what most of Indians are. That's why we strive so well. Yeah. And I think nowadays you see chefs not being burdened by a financier, but being himself or herself. And I think in future, I guarantee you, I am sure that one day Michelin will be having their own guidebook in India. You will have more award systems in India where we'll be rewarded for all our thousands of years of our legacy.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Gaggan. We are proud of what you've done and achieved. And thank you so much for taking time out and coming over here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Delhi. Thank you.